Hi, in this video we're going to solve simultaneous equations where one of the equations is nonlinear. And what do I mean by nonlinear? Well, the linear equation is the one that if you were to sketch it, it would give you a straight line. Linear means straight line. And remember, what makes this linear as an equation is that you've got x and y without any powers. So neither the x or the y are squared. You might have a constant term without a variable too. Whereas this one is non-linear because you've got like an x squared term here, for example. You've also actually got an x multiplier y term, and that makes it non-linear as well. So how do we solve these? Remember, to solve simultaneous equations is to find a value of x and y that satisfies both equations. In fact, we need to find all the values of x and y that satisfies both equations, because there might be more than one value of x and more than one value of y. So how do we do it? What we do is we substitute the linear equation into the nonlinear one. So this linear equation here, this expression here, we're going to substitute that as the y into the nonlinear equation. So let me write that. Substitute the linear equation into the nonlinear one. And substituting just means to replace every instance of y in this nonlinear equation with this expression for y here. So we're substituting that y for x minus 2. So let's try that. We're going to write this first equation again, the nonlinear one, but we're going to replace every y with that x minus 2 on the second line. So 5x squared minus 3xy. We're replacing the y with x minus 2. And notice I've used brackets because it's 3 times x times all of x minus 2. We use brackets to keep things together. And then we've got the plus 4 equals 0. And now we've got a single equation in terms of just one variable, so we can just solve it in the usual way. So I'm going to expand the brackets. So 5x squared, we do minus 3x times x, which is minus 3x squared. And we do minus 3x times minus 2, which is plus 6x. We've got that plus 4 there. And let's just simplify a bit. 5 lots of x squared minus 3 lots of x squared is 2 lots of x squared. And then we've also got that plus 6x term and the plus 4 term. Now, always try and spot where you can divide the equation by something to make the numbers smaller, because quadratics are easier to factorize when there's no number in front of the x squared. We effectively have 1x squared. But can you see that all these coefficients here, the numbers in front of each term, they are all even, which means you could just divide both sides by 2 of the equation. So divide by 2, and that's going to give us x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. And now this is an easier equation to factorize, to solve. Okay, remember how we solve a quadratic equation? We get 0 on one side, which we've done, and then we need to factorize it. So we need two numbers that add to give this number in front of the x, the middle term, and times to give this last number. Let's just draw that on there. They need to add to give that 3 and times to give that 2. Now, what adds to give 3 times give 2? Well, it's 2 and 1. So what you do is you have two brackets. You put x at the start of each because it's a quadratic in x. It's x squared, that's something. And then the two numbers were 2 and 1 that we found. So we can put them as the second thing in each bracket, either way, round like that. And that's equal to 0. And then remember the last step. Well, if you've got a product of two things is equal to 0, then one of those things, at least one of those things, has to be 0. So if the x plus 2 was 0, then x would be minus 2. Remember, a quick way you could do that is to just negate whatever number's there. So the plus 2 becomes minus 2. And you can see it works because minus 2 plus 2 would give you 0. And 0 times anything would be 0. So that works. And the other one, negate the plus 1, become minus 1. So those are the two solutions. Now, these are simultaneous equations. We need to find the values of x and y, which works. So for each of these values of x that we found, we need to find the corresponding value of y. So when x is minus 2, what will be the corresponding value of y? Now, it's always easier to substitute your x's back into the linear equation because you can see, look, y is the subject here, and it's just easier to sub into something that doesn't have squares or things like that. So the y value is the x value minus 2. So the x value minus 2 would be minus 4. And then we said, okay, y is x minus 2. So if x is minus 1 minus 2 would be minus 3. So we get y is equal to minus 3. And remember, it's really important that you make sure it's clear what values of y correspond to what values of x. So this value of y corresponds to that value of x, and this value of y corresponds to that value of x. And as long as you write the x and y's in the same order, then it will be fine. So if your first value of x is minus 2 and the corresponding value of y is minus 4, you need to make sure that that y is written first.